We hope it will have a similar impact on every one of you who reads the book and the lucky 15 freshmen who write the essay and are selected to take the trip to Russia. Our University Distinguished Teacher of the Year is someone who, since the day he arrived on campus, has impressed everyone as being one of the most gregarious, student-oriented teachers at TAMIU. His marketing classes in the A.R. Sanchez School of Business are very student-oriented. If you read his student evaluations, as I have, this student's comment captures his effectiveness in the classroom. Quote, "The professor likes to involve his students in his arguments. I appreciate that he asks for our opinion on the topics." Another one writes similarly, "The professor allows all students to participate. His lectures are more of a discussion type, and this allows for students to be more dynamic and interested." He received his PhD in Business Administration with a concentration in marketing in 2010 from the University of Memphis. And because of his research productivity, his extensive service, and his excellence in the classroom, this year he was awarded tenure and promotion to associate professor. Please welcome to the podium Dr. Rob Evans, 2017 Distinguished Teacher of the Year.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Arenas, all the deans, faculty, staff, but above all, students. Now, I wasn't told to be brief, I was told to be short, to which my response was, when I sit in a chair, my feet barely touch the floor, so I'm already short. So, so in that case, I will definitely try to be as brief as possible. As you can probably guess from my accent, I'm a longtime Laredo resident, right? By way of Kentucky and Tennessee. This is the start of my 9th year here at TAMIU. And to be honest, sometimes I'm as surprised as any that not only I made it here, but I'm still here. The most popular question I got during my first 2 years of being here at TAMIU was, when are you going to leave? That wasn't from faculty, that was from students. So maybe I should have improved my teaching earlier on. But anyway, I'm still here, and you may ask yourself, here's a charming, handsome, intelligent gentleman, so why wouldn't he be here? Okay, all right, right? Oh, well, 1 out of 3 is not bad, so I'll let y'all decide which one that is, either intelligent, charming, or handsome. So if I had to choose one of the 3, I don't know which one I'd choose. But anyway, but to give you some idea of how I did end up here at TAMIU, I need to give you some perspective on the events that have shaped my life, because I believe we have a lot more in common than you think. And if you listen to what I share today, and hopefully I motivate you, and if I benefit even one student here today, then my prayers have been answered. So first of all, my name is Rob Evans. A lot of people call me Dr. Evans. My family, I refuse to let them call me Dr. Evans. They wouldn't call me Dr. Evans anyway. So, and like many of you, I am a first-generation college student. Okay, how many of you are first-generation college students? Let me see your hands. All right, that's fantastic. Well, let me share some of the experiences I had as a first-generation college student and how it has affected me in my teaching. So, like many of you, I wandered, fought, persisted, dreamed, prayed, and worked like I never did before to become a college professor. So how does a person from a town of 750 people, yes, 750 people in my small town, where there are more cows than people, it's true, end up being a college professor? That's quite an anomaly, you would say. Well, in the words of the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been. All right. I can start by saying that I'm very proud to be a first-generation college student. I'm very proud of my family and where I come from. And I think it's important to give you a perspective of where I came from and a little bit about my family. My dad was a janitor for 32 years at an aluminum company. He worked long hours, he worked weekends, he worked nights, and we didn't see much of each other. My mother was a housekeeper who worked odd jobs when we needed extra money to cover the rent or to make ends meet. But despite the humble upbringing, we always had food on the table, as you can tell, right? Clothes for school, even if they were second or third generation hand-me-downs, and 4 walls and a roof over our head. In fact, sometimes we couldn't call it home until we parked the house and took the wheels off. And my good friend from West Virginia can probably understand that as well. It's a little bit of a joke. It's called a trailer, so anyway. So my siblings actually chose different career paths than I did. My brother, who I am extremely proud of, he joined the military after high school. He served in the United States Air Force. Then he spent 24 years working in a steel company, a very labor-intensive job. My sister worked for a retail store, then met the love of her life, the delivery man, which led me to believe that UPS delivers more than just packages. So it's true. She went on to become a loving mother of 3 boys and a housewife. So as you can imagine, when I informed my parents and family that I wanted to go to college, I quickly became the black sheep of the family. My parents were less than supportive of my decision. In fact, they thought it was a waste of time. They said to me, and I quote, "to get a real job." In my gut, I knew that my hometown would still be there if I didn't succeed, but that was a walk of shame I never wanted to face, okay? Now, for a naive country boy, and I'm still naive, I think one of my colleagues said, if you look up naive, you'll find Rob in the dictionary, and I immediately went to the dictionary, and I still can't find it, but... But anyway, for a naive country boy, going to college was quite an experience for me. In fact, more people lived in my freshman dorm than in my hometown. You think I'm kidding? I'm serious. It was a 26-story building packed full of people, and it had community showers and bathrooms, which thank God y'all don't have to experience. And when I say community, I mean everybody on the floor shared a shower and shared the bathroom. But anyway, that's another generation. So what did I have to learn when I went? I had to learn how to cook, and the cooking skills involved a microwave and a very serious decision between shrimp or beef ramen noodles, okay? I learned to do my own laundry, which led to an endless collection of pink underwear and t-shirts in what can be best described as a watercolor wardrobe. Embarrassing. Anyway, always separate pinks and reds from whites. All right, that's another thing I learned. So I would spend the next 7 years, yes, 7 years, with 1 year taken off from military training to join the U.S. Army Reserves, which greatly helped me gain the confidence in my abilities and the skills needed to survive, eat, and to improve my laundry skills. But at the same time, I was at best a struggling first-generation college student. I was still struggling a bit, still trying to figure out how to navigate the road between where I was and becoming a college graduate. I knew that the road to a college degree is a road to a better life, but it was difficult, to say the least. There were times I wanted to give up. There were times I wanted to walk away, and if it were not for finding mentors, people who genuinely cared for me about my well-being, who I can lean on, and others who gave me encouragement, friendship, and occasionally a hot meal, I would not have made it, okay? I remember sitting on the couch one day, and I went to the cupboard, and I had a can of green beans, and until payday, that's what I had. And believe it or not, I've made up for that since then. Anyway, one man in particular who affected my life was Dr. Tom Meredith, who happened to be one of my professors at Western Kentucky University undergrad. But he also happened to be the president of the university. And he said he wanted me to come by his office one day, which you can imagine if the president of the university says, come by my office, what are you expecting? Probably not good things. But he called me in the office. I waited patiently in the waiting room. His assistant told me I can go in. And instead of talking to me about our class, instead of talking to me about my grades, which quite frankly weren't that good, he simply asked me, "How are you doing?" Wow. President of the university saying, "How are you doing, Rob?" And I was shocked, to say the least, that such a busy man would take time out of his schedule to do so. He said, "I notice you're not happy, you're not fulfilling your potential, and you're underachieving." Well, those are strong words to hear from someone, especially a university president. But you know what? He was right. He was right. So, but I wasn't underachieving because I wanted to, and I wasn't leaving potential on the table because I wanted to. It was because I simply didn't understand how to be a college student. And from that moment on, he became a mentor to me. He made sure I made it to classes, got involved on campus, and he knew college for me was an extreme financial struggle because obviously you know my parents' feelings about that, so I had to scrape together what I can. So he would call me to come pick up leftover food from functions they had at the president's house, which led to me eating more mini sandwiches than I thought a human being could consume in a lifetime, but I was very grateful. And I was grateful and humble for his gestures, and with his guidance, I was able to finish my degree. It was the single hardest achievement in my life. First generation, I did it. All right, so. Yeah. Now, I did finish with a 2.3 GPA, which is horrible. Don't be like Rob in that respect, please. But that actually was an improvement from the time I took a year off to go to the military. But I'd worked an untold number of jobs, bussing tables, being a bouncer at a nightclub. I don't want to talk about that. But I did it, and no one could ever take that from me. I joined that elite group of individuals who were college graduates. However, that was not the end of my academic pursuits. Or why else would you see a grown man standing here in front of you wearing what can best be described as what? A dress, right? Anyway. I told my parents I was going to get my master's degree, and after they recovered from passing out, they gently rolled their eyes and said, "When are you going to get a real job?" Tough to hear from someone you love, much less your parents. But I persisted and finished my MBA, and then I went on to work in the insurance and healthcare fields for about 7 or 8 years, but I knew my heart was in academia, and I had to pursue my doctorate. So if you think my parents were a little disturbed or upset when I told them I was getting my undergraduate degree or my MBA, when I told them I had been accepted to the University of Memphis doctoral program, let's just say the only time they visited me was on graduation day. But once they saw the career opportunities created by my education, plus the fact that each time I got a new diploma, their birthday and Christmas presents seemed to get larger and more expensive, they finally saw the vision I had so many years before, which brings me to the question of why have I decided to stay here at TAMIU to continue my career. First of all, the students here at TAMIU remind me of me. They have a passion for understanding, they have a passion for learning, and a lot of you are first generation, so I know your struggles. I know what it's like to have very little money. I know what it's like to pull up to the drive-thru, count the change out, and hope I can get something off the dollar menu. So from that, I knew that I'm like you and you're like me, but the second reason I decided to stay here at TAMIU is that in my first days here, my mentor here at TAMIU said, "Rob, in order to succeed here, you have to love your students." And I apologize. I was going to ask permission to use a 4-letter word, love. You know, I just got tenure today. I know it's a 4-letter word, but but hopefully that's all right. So here I am, a recent PhD grad, expecting to do research, a little service and teaching. I was supposed to publish and work toward tenure, not spending time to get to know my students that much, and that's a perception that I had. But it didn't take me long to realize that he was right. For you see, one of the real reasons I've stayed here at TAMIU is because we care about you. We really do. And in fact, we love you. We love our students. Does that sound weird? Okay. I think of the movie Goldmember. Isn't that weird, right? But we do love our students. And I've seen this demonstrated in many ways and many times by professors. I've seen an accounting professor, Dr. Ju Chin Chang, give extra instruction in the evening and on weekends because her students simply needed more time than class allowed to explain. I've seen faculty and staff, I've seen actually Dr. Sears share a meal with a hungry student, simply taking the time to get to know them and make sure that they are okay. Not as far as their classwork, but how are you doing? Just like that question Dr. Meredith had asked me. I've seen advisors of student groups give weekends, late nights, their own money to support the group to reach a goal or attend a conference or competition. And I've seen faculty and staff take the time to help students when they need it the most. Now, a lot of you as you go through your career here, perhaps you'll face dark and difficult times. But I know that the faculty and staff are here to care for you. If you ever experience dark and difficult times, if you experience problems that you think you can't overcome, seek help. We're here for you because we do, in fact, love you. Okay. And finally, I want to speak to those of you who may have fears or doubts about why you're here, and to the ones who may feel a bit more comfortable as well. Number one, don't miss good work you have started. You're smart enough and you're good enough, and if you ever think you can't succeed, come over to my office in Western Hemisphere 206, and I'll give you a pep talk, and I'll talk to you about the struggles I face as well. But you are good enough, and you are smart enough to finish this good work that you have started. Number two, if you're scared, don't worry. You're not alone. Even professors get scared. In fact, I'm an introvert. I was telling some of the faculty here, I'm a little bit nervous about giving this, so if I bolt or pass out, do you know 911, okay? Everybody gets scared. But if you get scared and you need help, seek help. That's what makes TAMIU unique. We care about you, we love you, and we want every aspect to be taken care of. Okay? Number three, find friendship. This time of your life at TAMIU will be unlike any other you will experience. It's not like high school, it's not like adulthood, it's that weird place in between when you can do things and get away with it, and you can have fun. Take road trips to San Antonio, go to the beach, or even Cotulla. I hear they sell Cinnabons in one of the gas stations up there. So I am seriously thinking about making a road trip up there myself. So, all right. Join a club. You have a chance to serve others. That'll get you prepared for life. And finally, now is the time of your life to travel and discover yourself in the world beyond Laredo and Webb County. You can do this by studying abroad for a semester, a few weeks. Either way, odds are you will never have the opportunity again to travel in a safe and productive environment like you can here at TAMIU. So hopefully I can serve as an inspiration for those of you who aren't sure you can make it, because believe me, you can. For those of you who are afraid of what their family or friends think, don't worry, I didn't, because it's your life. And above all else, remember, it's your life, your dreams, and your passions which you must pursue. Don't pursue someone else's passions. So thank you again to the students here today. Thank you to my wife for her support. And I wish you luck and much love on your way to becoming a TAMIU graduate. Thank you.